The moment you decide to embody your future self, a silent war begins in the nervous system. Your amygdala, that ancient fear center, starts firing warning signals, interpreting this unfamiliar behavior as potential danger. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex lights up with cognitive effort as you consciously override decades of ingrained patterns. This neural conflict creates what researchers at Stanford's Behavior Design Lab call transformational stress, that uncomfortable stretching sensation between who you were and who you re-becoming. Most people misinterpret this discomfort as a sign they're doing something wrong, when in reality it's the clearest indicator they're doing something profoundly right. The sweat on your palms when you speak up in a meeting, the accelerated heartbeat when you set an unpopular boundary, the dryness in your throat. When you ask for what you truly worth, these physiological responses are the birth pangs of your new identity. Your mirror neurons, those fascinating brain cells that fire both when you act and when you observe others acting, begin working overtime during this process. As you consistently perform new behaviors, these neurons create an internal model of your future self that becomes increasingly vivid. UCLA neuroscientists using fMRI scanners have observed that after 6 to 8 weeks of deliberate as-if practice, subjects' brains show identical activation patterns, whether they reimagining their future self or engaging in present moment activities. This explains why the transformation eventually feels effortless. Your brain has literally rewritten its self-perception at the hardware level. You're not pretending anymore. You've neurologically become what you've practiced. The hormonal shifts follow a predictable but non-linear progression. Days 1 to 14 see cortisol spikes as your body rebels against the unfamiliar demands. Around day 21, DHEA production increases to buffer the stress response. By day 45, your endocrine system settles into a new equilibrium with higher baseline dopamine and oxytocin levels. These changes don't happen uniformly. They come in waves that mirror the hero's journey pattern found in all transformative myths. There will be days when you feel you've regressed, moments when the old identity comes roaring back with startling intensity. These aren't failures, but necessary consolidation phases where your psyche integrates the changes. Your environment plays a crucial but often overlooked role in this alchemical process. The objects surrounding you, from the clothes in your closet to the apps on your phone, either reinforce your past self or support your future version. Princeton neuroscientists demonstrated that physical clutter increases cognitive load by up to 40%, literally draining the mental energy needed for transformation. This explains why people who undergo radical identity shifts often feel compelled to change their living spaces, social circles, and daily routines. It's not mere symbolism. These environmental shifts create the neural scaffolding that supports sustained change. Language patterns undergo the most subtle but profound metamorphosis during this journey. At first, you'll consciously adopt your future self's speech patterns, their vocabulary, cadence, and conversational style. Around week 6, something remarkable happens. You'll find yourself pausing less before responding, your words flowing with new authority. University of Chicago linguists have documented that people changing social classes unconsciously modify their vowel sounds within 3 months of consistent practice. Your very voice becomes a fingerprint of your new identity. The social repercussions follow a predictable arc. Weeks 1 to 3 typically bring amused tolerance from your circle. Weeks 4 to 6 often trigger resistance. By week 8, you'll notice certain relationships becoming strained while unexpected new connections appear. This social reordering is uncoincidence. It's your changed energy repelling. It's mismatched vibrations and attracting aligned ones. The people who challenge your transformation are often the ones most threatened by what it reflects about their own unrealized potential. Sleep architecture changes dramatically during intensive identity work. REM sleep duration increases as your brain processes the day's identity experiments, while deep sleep becomes more restorative to support neurogenesis. Many report vivid dreams featuring symbolic deaths and rebirths during this period. Stanford sleep researchers have found that people undergoing deliberate identity shifts produce 18 to 22% more theta brainwaves during twilight states, those hypnagogic moments between sleep and wakefulness where the subconscious is most malleable. The final stage of transformation comes not with fanfare, but with quiet realization. One ordinary morning, you'll notice the absence of effort where once there was struggle. The behaviors that required conscious attention now flow automatically. The identity that felt like a costume now fits like a second skin. In this moment, you'll understand the great paradox of personal alchemy. We don't change ourselves by willpower alone, but by creating the precise conditions under which change becomes inevitable. The person you were never disappears. They become compost for the person you were always meant to be.